Okay, this is a video for 12.6 notes, and I'm assuming that if you're on this video, you've already done 12.5, which is solve by square rooting, which is not in actually any of these forms. We'll talk about that. And then do the immediate review where you just review all the graphing. There are actually kind of three forms of a quadratic. A quadratic basically is anything that has x squared, which is going to make a parabola, which is a U-shaped graph. The easiest one, most common one, is called vertex form. Why is it called vertex form? It gives you the vertex. That is your h. Okay, that helps you know where the maximum minimum is. You can also do solve by square rooting this. You did some questions like that on the back of 12.5 and the front of 12.5, but you graphed by square roots. Okay, so best form. Solve by square roots, find the x-intercepts, know the vertex. 3 points make a parabola. 2 points make a line, 3 points make a parabola. Standard form doesn't give you a lot. It only gives you the y-intercept. If you put 0 in here, the y-intercept is always c. So it's the best for giving you the y-intercept. Other than that, it's kind of hard. But sometimes you can go from standard form to factored form. And factored form is the best because it gives you the x-intercepts. It gives you these. So in these two graphs, our x-intercepts would be -1, 0, and 2, 0, and we'll review that today. Okay, let's first of all say, how are we going to rewrite this, which is in vertex form, to something in standard form? So how do we go from here to here? Okay, different than solving by square rooting. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply this out. So order of operations, PEMDAS, you do parentheses and exponents first. So we're going to do this first. So we're going to do x minus 4 times x minus 4. Now realize that that is not x squared plus 16. You actually have to FOIL this. And that's going to give you x squared minus 4x minus another 4x plus 16 minus 10. And I'm going to add like terms. So I get y equals x squared minus 8x. And then like terms here, these are like terms and these are like terms, plus 6. And that's your answer. Now it's in standard form. So you can from there actually put it in factored form, which we'll do later. But you know that the y-intercept is 6. You know the vertex is 4, -10. Okay, same thing on this one. Be careful when there's a 2 in front. Order of operations, PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, then multiplication. So on this one, the 2 is going to be outside. We're not going to worry about the 2 for a second. We are going to FOIL first. So kind of put these in brackets. If you distribute the 2 first, you'll get the wrong answer. So this FOILed is x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9 plus 5. Now we're going to do multiplication. I'm going to add like terms first, actually. Sorry. And now I'm going to do the multiplication. If you guys are noticing, this right here is always that plus that, doubled. And that's that times that. So now I'm going to distribute the 2. 2x squared plus 12x plus 18 plus the 5 at the end. And then I'm going to add like terms. My like terms are those. And so now that's in standard form. Y-intercept would be 23. Vertex would have been -3, 5. Same thing with the 1/2 here. Don't worry about the 1/2 till the end. Do your order of operations. That's weird. So kind of put this in brackets. Hopefully this will fit. So if I do FOIL, that's x squared plus 4, which is going to be 8x. I'm just going to add like terms here, plus 16. And now I'm going to distribute the 1/2. So 1/2 x squared, half of 8 is 4x, half of 16 is 8, minus 3. And then add like terms. So I'm going to put right here y equals 1/2 x squared plus 4x plus 5. Y-intercept be 5. Okay. So that's how you guys go from vertex form to standard form. I'm going to slide this down. Hopefully you guys can see the end of this. Move this a little bit. I'm also going to go over zero product property. We did this in Unit 1 in like September. Basic zero product property says if two things multiply to be 0, then one or the other one is 0. And you're going to factor it, set it equals 0. Then you're going to make each parentheses equal 0. And then each parentheses you're going to solve. So in this case, x would equal -3 and x would equal -2. What that's going to do is give you your x-intercepts. So we're going to solve these. Remember, move all terms to one side of the equation, factor the quadratic or trinomial completely by guess and check, set the factors equal to 0, and solve for each factor. So basically these are already factored. So I just need to set them both equal to 0 and solve. This one would equal -1. This one would equal +5. We've done this many times. I'm going to kind of go fast on this. -3 divided by 2 would be -3/2 and 4. Doesn't matter, they put a y there, I don't like it, but we'll use it. That's going to be -1/2 and -14. I'm hoping you guys can see the bottom of this paper. This would be n equals 2/7 and equals 4/5. Okay, and now we're going to go to the back. So on the back of this, we are going to find the solutions of the equation. So review of factoring. And so we are going to basically factor first. So what multiplies by 14 gives you -5. Well, that's -7 and +2. Then we each set each one of them equal to 0. So you get m equals 7 and m equals -2. Those would actually be your x-intercepts when we get there. Same factoring, remember there's a 1 in front of here, so things that multiply to be 20 are 5 and 4. I need a positive. This is a negative, so I need one negative, one positive. I need this positive, so p plus 5, p minus 4. So your answer would be -5 and +4. Okay, this is a big one, and this one. People mess up on this all the time. It's not a trinomial. So next thing you do, or what you always try to do, is do a GCF first. We're going to do a GCF. They both are divisible by 3, and they both have an n. So if I take out it here, 3 goes into 6 2 times, with an n left over, goes into that 5. Now what you should understand is anytime you have two things squared, you're going to get two answers. So we're going to get two answers, either 3n equals 0 or 2n plus 5 equals 0. Well, if you divide this by 3, you get n equals 0. And this one you subtract 5 divided by 2. So when you're taking the GCF out, it's always going to be 0 in the front. Okay, this one a little bit different too. It's not equal to 0. You cannot do this till it's equal to 0. So we're going to add the 49 first. Make sure it's in descending standard form before you start factoring it. 1 multiplies by 40 and adds to be 14, it'll be 7 and 7. So this is called a double root because both of them equal -7. You don't have to put that -7 twice. Okay, guess and check. So let's see. I need to think about 3x squared. So the only thing that's going to give me 3x squared is 3x and 3x, and now I'm going to get 14. Probably thinking 7 and 2. One's negative and one's positive, so it could be -7 and +2, or +7 and -2, and I need to get 1. So I can't put the 7 here because that'd be 21's never going to do it. So I know the 7's going to go here, and the 2's going to go here, and I look, that's 6 and that's 7. I need positive. So that's -6 plus 7, which is 1, -14. Set them equal to 0, -7/3, and +2. Okay, last one. Again, not equal to 0, has to be equal to 0. So this one we're going to move the 5x over. P people try to divide by x, it doesn't work. You lose an answer. So make it equal 0. Factor out a GCF because it's a binomial, and you get 2 answers. Most missed questions are these two. Okay, so now we're going to relate this all to what a graph is. So how is this related to a graph? Because this is not in vertex form. Later on you'll figure out how to make it in vertex form, but that's for a couple of days from now, next week. Right now we are going to try to graph it. So we need to figure out the zero. So we're basically going to set this equation equal to 0. The zeros are the x-intercepts. So we're going to find the x-intercepts. Remember, you let y equal 0, or let the function equal 0, and I'm going to factor. So this would be x minus 5, x plus 1, and you get 2 answers, 5 and negative 1. So that means that you have the x-intercepts of 5, 0, and negative 1. So let's put that on the graph. Negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0. Okay, I know this graph is opening up, and I know it's very normal, but how do I figure out the vertex? Well, I'm going to draw in the line of symmetry. The line of symmetry would be right in the middle. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 apart, so 1, 2, 3, right in the middle. This would be my line of symmetry. So my line of symmetry is x equals 2. You can also find that by adding the two numbers together and dividing by 2. Why does that help? Now I can figure out the vertex is 2 something, and I have to figure out. So what you do is you plug in, plug in 2. In for x, so you're going to say f of x, or y, equals 2 squared minus 4 times 2 minus 5. That's 4 minus 8 minus 5, which is going to give you negative 4. And you guys, this will always be twice as much as that, but opposite. That gives you negative 9. So your vertex is at 2, negative 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now if you guys have watched my other video, I talk about 1, 3, 5. Your A is 1. So the point on either side would be 1. The next point would be 1, 2, 3. And the next point would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My lines were kind of off. Okay, last one. Hoping you guys can see this one. Same thing. What are the zeros of functions? Set it equal to 0. Factor. So that would be x 4 and 2 plus 4 minus 2. So your two answers would be negative 4 and positive 2. So that means you have 2 x-intercepts. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. Okay, well, again, this graph is opening up. Vertex is somewhere down here as a minimum because it's opening up. Where is it? So you can either go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So well, half of 6 is 3. 1, 2, 3. This would be your line of symmetry at x equals negative 1. Or you can add your 2 x-intercepts and divide by 2. Gives you the average. Once you have to do this, you have to plug in into the equation. So y equals, I hope you guys can see this, negative 1 squared plus 2 times negative 1 minus 8. That's 1 minus 2. Again, this is always double that. Minus 8, which is also negative 9. I didn't do that on purpose. So that's your vertex. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, if you want to use the 1, 3, 5 method, this would be 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, so that is it all for this week. Good luck. Message me anytime you guys have questions. Bye.